Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. This time we're going to be doing a full in-depth review instructional video about the DJI Osmo Mobile. Now I've searched YouTube high and low for good videos with full information about the DJI Osmo. I find videos which are 7-8 minutes long, which basically are either unboxings or very broad instructional videos of how to use the device. The device is absolutely fantastic and it really needs a good video to showcase what it's all about. So I've spent a very long time getting this video, trying to make it the best there is on YouTube at the moment, in my opinion. Trying to cover all the bases, showing you all the examples, setups, quick unboxing, menus, everything possible. So please take the time to watch this video. It took me a long time to get this right, and I'm sure I'm going to miss a few bits and pieces here and there, but give it a try, you might enjoy it. Don't forget to thumbs the video up if you did enjoy it, subscribe down there if you haven't already, and let's get to it. The DJI Osmo Mobile. Look what's inside the box. First of all, we have the manual. Well, we're not going to read that, we're going to put it to the side right now, and if we need it we'll take it later. Then some silica gel, out it goes. Moving on into the top part of the box, a little hidden compartment and a nice little surprise here. We have a nice DJI case where we can put our Osmo inside. We'll take a look at that later. Following on, in this little compartment here, we have a couple of things. First, the battery, which we'll talk about in a second. It's got this little plastic seal on it, so make sure you remove this before putting it in to the Osmo device to charge. Next, charging cable. This is a USB to 3.5mm jack charging cable. Then a lanyard, which you can use, we're not going to use it for now, and the cover for the tripod attachment. And there it is. This is the Osmo in its full glory inside the box. The battery is a 980 mAh battery, lithium-ion polymer. The charging cable, USB-C to 3.5mm jack. Do not use this anywhere else for headphones or any other equipment. It's only for power. To charge the Osmo, open the flip as shown on the video now. Get your battery, slide it in, close the latch up again. Get your charging cable, plug it in, and then use the USB either in a charging brick or in your laptop. So let's take a closer look at the Osmo. So you have your joystick, which you'll be able to move the gimbal in every direction, the shutter button, video recording button, your power and sleep button here. To sleep, move down very quickly for half a second, and then to switch on and off, move it down and hold for a couple of seconds. Here you have your trigger. One press holds the gimbal in a steady position. A double click centers the gimbal, and a treble click turns the camera to the selfie camera and back again. And your 3.5mm charging port. Over here you have the clamp, which is tightened and loosened with the back wheel here. Diagrams show which way to tighten and which way to release. Bear in mind, the Osmo also has a sensor right about here, which you can see, and that basically tells the gimbal whether the phone is inserted or not. If it's not inserted, the Osmo will figure that out and will go to sleep mode automatically. So I have an iPhone 7 Plus right here, and I've noticed that in order to balance the phone, and you're going to need to balance any phone with the gimbal, it doesn't balance with any case on. So to balance it, just remember, take it out of any casing, and then I'm going to put it into the Osmo now, and we're going to balance it. So I've just put my phone into the gimbal, and you can see it's perfectly balanced. Just stays there. If I twist it, it will stay in that position. Twist it, it stays in that position, and that's what you're looking for. The way you do this is make sure for larger phones like the iPhone 7 Plus, the phone goes all the way to the rubber here. And then over here you have a screw, and this arm moves in and out. So untighten the screw and maneuver the arm in or out as much as you need until you get a perfectly level gimbal like so. Once you're happy with the balance, again, go tighten the screw back up again, and you are good to go. In order to sync the device, you'll have to go into your DJI app and then switch on your gimbal by holding the power button for a second or two. The connection is very simple. If you've used DJI products before, you'll know exactly how to pair it up. The device is paired by Bluetooth, so if you're not too sure, in your main screen from all the options you'll click your Osmo Mobile and it'll connect. If you haven't done this before, you'll get a list of all the Bluetooth devices in the area. Pick your DJI Osmo from the list and you're good to go. So we'll go through all these options later in the video, what all these buttons do, but the first thing we'll need to do is to calibrate our gimbal. To do this, you'll go into the settings, click on gimbal, you have auto calibration, press start, make sure the gimbal is on the flat surface. If you haven't got a stand, just hold it like I am on the flat table, because this thing will start dancing and you better be sure you're holding it. So, are you sure? Press OK, let it do its work. And that's your calibration done. Over here, the green LED represents your power. Battery will last approximately 4 hours, and the blue indicator here shows you that the device is connected to your phone. So now let the fun begin, and let's go through some of the fantastic options that this gimbal has to offer. So let's go through the menu as we see it from left to right. At the top here, your Bluetooth indicator sign shows you that Bluetooth is connected. If it's not, you'll click on it and it'll ask you to pair the device again or just to connect. Your photo or video button to change from modes. This is the mode that you're using for videos, and again, if you're in photos, it will show you the different photo modes you have. Your shutter button or your video button, your change of camera button, and there's me over here. Let's put it back so we can see the screen better. Your library, so any photos or videos will be shown here once you've taken them. We'll come back to this one in a second. The battery indicator for your gimbal, your flash status indicator, so my flash is now turned off, your home button which will bring you back to the main DJI menu, camera settings, gimbal settings, and some more settings here. This little magical button is your tracking. So for this example for tracking, we're gonna highlight this lamp over here. You can see it's identified the lamp, and now basically anywhere we move, and let me get the camera better for you, you can see that it's always tracking the lamp. If we go down, the gimbal will move up. We go up, the gimbal will move down. You get the picture. So really cool function, and you can use this for selfie mode as well on the front facing camera. So let's go through some of the options that we have for the photography and the videography. Starting off with photos. You have single photos, panorama, long exposure. For the single, you've got landscape, different timers if you need to get into a shot yourself, and an HDR mode. For the panoramas, you have a 180 degree, a 330 degree, and a 9-shot panorama. This option is really cool, and I'll show you examples of this later on in the video. And options here for long exposure as well. For the video settings, you have your normal, slow motion, normal time lapse, and motion time lapse. And again, all examples will be given at the end of the video. Now let's look at the settings of the gimbal. So, starting off with camera, you have your video resolution, which can go from 720p at 30 frames a second, 1080p at 60 frames a second, and up to 4K at 30 frames per second. For the panorama quality, you have high, middle, and low, and then you can reset those options back to the defaults. Your gimbal settings, your calibration of the gimbal, the speed of which the gimbal responds to the joystick's movement, stick control direction, and then you can invert the pans and invert the tilts like you would have in an aeroplane. I've just left it as normal. Your general settings will show the version, the battery, it's a 3-cell battery, and also show you the charge count here. And finally, your live view option, which lets you stream to these servers. So YouTube's there, thumbs up, live streaming to YouTube. So let's look at how this gimbal works. So I'm not holding the trigger button at the moment. As you can see, my index finger is under the trigger. When I move the gimbal in directions, the camera will smoothly follow the direction I'm pointing at. And again, you can increase or decrease the speed as you like. The moment I hold the trigger and keep it pressed, it will then concentrate always on that, and doesn't matter which direction I move it, the gimbal will always keep the camera shooting exactly the same position as I've chosen in the first place. By using the joystick, I can move the camera manually in any direction I choose, and then just to center it, I will double tap the trigger button and it will go back to normal. For selfie mode, like I said, 1, 2, 3, and there I am. And again, 1, 2, 3, and back to the normal camera. Okay, so first we're going to try off the 9-shot panorama. So we're going to go to photos, panorama, 9 shots, and then click the shutter button and watch the magic happen. Now it's processing, and I'll put the final image on the screen in a second. Next we're going to do the 330-degree panorama, selecting panorama 330, and now press the shutter button. Now, to set motion time-lapse, we go to the video option, click on M time-lapse. We're going to now, with the joystick here, select our start point, press the plus button. We're going to then select our end point, press the button, click on next. Select our intervals, which we'll put 1 second. We're going to do a 5 minutes, which then gives us 10 seconds. And now we're going to press the start button. It's going to get into position. And then start rolling. The screen will go blank after a second to conserve battery on the phone. And we'll be back after 5 minutes and I'll show you the clip, what it looks like. And now we're going to try the Osmo Mobile versus just the iPhone, walking and running. We can also do a hyperlapse feature by walking and time-lapse mode together on the Osmo. So let's go check that one out now. That will conclude this review and instructional video of the DJI Osmo Mobile. I really hope all of you enjoyed it. Remember, if you did, click that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Really helps the channel to grow. A couple of negative points which I'd like to point out on the DJI Osmo Mobile is 2 things pretty much. One thing is that you have to be synced up and connected to the Osmo Mobile in order to download the photos onto the camera roll in the iPhone itself or any other mobile phone that you're using. And the second one would be with modern mobile phones with optical image stabilization, that does deter the quality and creates a little bit of a wobbly jelly effect. So if you can get past that, there is one way I've noticed on the iPhone 7 Plus is to use the 2x zoom camera, and that has no optical image stabilization. Apart from that, it is a fantastic bit of kit. I highly recommend it, and I highly recommend any DJI product. I give it a big thumbs up, and stay tuned. I'm going to be reviewing the Phantom 3 Standard very shortly as well. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye for now.